End detention!
End destitution!
End detention!
End destitution!
End detention!
End destitution! This is part of a transnational and international day of action against detention everywhere in the world. And people all over the UK, Yarlswood, Dungavel, Morton Hall, and many others are being surrounded by people who are post-detention, and we're with them. We're with the people on hunger strike inside detention. We're with the mothers and children and people with disabilities and pregnant women who are being locked up. Many have fled from torture, from rape, and from war, that's right, and instead of getting help and support, are being locked up and tortured again inside detention centers.
Claiming asylum, it felt like it was, I committed a crime. I thought I would be heard, I would be given right to stay here and be with my family, but instead they said I was a liar and they put me in detention and they made my case a fast track. They wanted to deport me, send me back, but thank to God I got a good solicitors. They took me out. But there are lots of people who are in detention because detention is indefinite. You don't know when you're going to come out. It feels like once you go in there, there is no way to come out. And I know people who are in detention for more than years. And when they come out, I don't know, it breaks you down because then you realize what happened to you. You were inside, locked up for no reason, just because you claimed asylum. You wanted a safety to be heard. And I feel that's outrageous. And to be here with you all guys supporting to shut down detention center, I'm really, really happy that I was part of it.
Over and over again, different governments have labelled people bogus asylum seekers, and they've been scapegoated, and the first people, as Sarah said, to come under attack for cuts, including legal aid. And many women that we're working with are rape survivors, and they can't even get a lawyer to go in front of a judge to argue their case.
We really have to pay attention to the Palestinian refugees, millions of them, the biggest population of refugees in the world. Anti-Palestinian racism is a serious, serious business, as is all the refusals to allow asylum seekers and refugees into this country. And the serious racism of putting people into detention. This is not a compassionate response. We want compassion. We do not want the callousness of the Tories and the rest of them.
I'm part of the All African Women's Group, which is made from different women coming from countries all around the world. But we are not victims, we're not giving up, we are here to fight, and until we get our victories, we will keep fighting.
We're organising against the new immigration bill because it will do a couple of things. It will fuel racism. It will give landlords the power to refuse to rent property to people who can't produce their documents. It will also prevent people appealing against a refusal of their asylum or immigration case, saying that they can't do that in this country and that they have to go back to their country of origin before they can appeal. How outrageous is that? Jeremy Corbyn and John McDonnell have been fantastic supporters in our fight against the immigration bill, but the rest of the Labour Party needs to stand up.
That as Jews, one of the things we know when we see it is a concentration camp. And everybody's calling these detention centers, and they're called detention centers in the United States and probably all over Europe, but what they really are is concentration camps. They have always been that. Concentration camps don't necessarily mean gas chambers, but they mean taking people away from all their defense mechanisms, from the community in which they live, and concentrating them in one place so that you can deal with them as a group.
End detention!
End detention!
The UK, the US, and other Western countries are bombing Syria, are bombing Iraq, are bombing Afghanistan, and now they're surprised that people try to flee. What's wrong with them?
That's right.
What's wrong with them? People have the right to safety, protection, and they have the right to claim back what's theirs.
Yes.
Because the poverty there is the wealth in the bank here in the Western world. So we say refugees are welcome here. Refugees are welcome here. Refugees are welcome here. Refugees are welcome here.
There's plenty of wealth in this country. Britain earned 7.5 trillion from the slave trade alone, and that money is here. So we have every right to be here. We're also here for the people in Calais. They have a right to be here. Many are children, and they have survived the Mediterranean. They survived desert. They survived all kinds of hardship, only to be trapped in Calais and living in horrific conditions.
We've had fantastic support from members of the public, waving, honking. Many people are sympathetic, especially with the whole discussion about children from Syria. People are either in their fleeing war, being bombed, their relatives killed, or starvation. That's the other thing people are facing. And people are very sympathetic, and it's only because of pressure from the public, from immigrant people, from refugee people, and people from the UK that the government has changed.
That 70% of the women in detention have fled rape. Is that how we want rape survivors to be treated in this country? Well, no, we don't, but some people do. Because it doesn't just stop there. Whatever gets rolled out first of all for asylum seekers gets pushed out on the rest of us. So now other rape survivors in this country reporting rape in the UK, they too are accused of lying. They too face the prospect of being prosecuted